Hello, everyone, and welcome to Trial by Fire, a podcast by JC Banff. My name is Nick Carrell, and I will be your judge today. On this show, 3 contestants come in with different segments about a current event, with hopes their segment will be deemed the most creative or interesting by me. They aren't just playing for bragging rights, though. In front of me, I have a hat full of random challenges, tasks, and inconveniences to which the losers will be subjected to. Before we dive into today's Trial by Fire, let's meet our contestants!
Hey everybody, my name is Bennett, and I am JC Banff's active and involved member of society. I take part in being an actual working man. I do what I can to help support the house and the household.
Are you saying you're the only one?
No, I'll translate. It's
Okay.
He's the only one with a full-time job at the moment.
Oh yeah, that is how it goes within the JC Banff arena. And so I'm trying to bring in that level of class and contribution to society to my segment today. And I think that's really going to help me take away the win.
Well, my name's Sorahan, and I applied for a job at AAA today. Be a car insurance salesman.
That's good, buddy.
Hey, good for you, man.
That's
Good
real
for you.
good.
Turning it around.
Can I ask, if you have to go in somewhere to drop off a resume, what's the dress code in your mind?
Like at least a button-up.
I'd say, well, what's the
It's
attire?
AAA, so you're wearing khakis and maybe a polo. on the job.
That's what? Then I say dress for the job you want, not the job you have.
Okay, so
Come
Polo?
in, polo. And
Okay,
khakis.
okay.
Yeah, dress like you want to look like you fit in there immediately.
I wore this.
He's for our viewers at home. He's not wearing a khakis and polo.
He's wearing a Cal Poly San Luis Obispo hoodie. And I'm going to take this opportunity to introduce myself. Hello, everyone. My name is John Chapman, and I am here on the It's weird doing this show in the daylight. We have the windows open, and there's the sun shining in our eyes. Usually we do... I mean, this is our first episode of this, but like when we do other things, it's at the night.
Yeah.
It's 2 p.m., 2:30.
On a Fridays, where we should all be at work. But I guess Bennett has the day off.
John has the day off, and Nick and I are woefully unemployed.
It's a personal choice.
Well, thank you so much for listening to our first episode. This is Trial by Fire, one of JC Banff's podcasts. It's our first.
I'd say a signature podcast.
It's our first signature podcast. We do a lot of comedy stuff, like sketches and whatnot. If you,
I mean, your first signature is still a signature. It's still,
true. We signed it.
Damn right
Yeah.
we did.
Alrighty, thank you very much, John. So, now that we've met our contestants, let's take a look at our current event of the episode. Today, our current event is NASA's planet hunting satellite found another potentially habitable Earth-sized planet. According to Yahoo News, NASA's Transiting Exoplanet Survey satellite, known as TESS for short, has discovered another Earth-sized, potentially habitable planet, orbiting around a star in the range of distances where conditions could allow for the presence of liquid water on the planet's surface. And that is the short and long of it. NASA's at it again. Anything else you want to add, y'all?
I forgot to say that I'm going to win this episode.
All right, big words
All right.
from John Chapman. Okay, without any further ado, let's do this. The man with the plan and the 401k, Bennett, take us away.
I also have a 401k, just not adding to it.
Okay, so my segment today is going to be a discussion and or argument about my opinion and on what I think the truth is of this article. And first to say that my immediate credentials is I have a degree from Cal Poly in aerospace engineering.
Whoa.
This is right in my field of study. I maybe not gonna say I'm an expert on the matter, but I am experienced, and my words are not entirely without measure.
I can agree with that. You do have experience.
I will say I took an astronomy class last quarter.
Okay, then we are on similar
Yes.
levels of experience and qualification, especially on this take. Which my take on this is that TOI 700D, which is the planet that surrounds the star, that was found to be deemed habitable, and the habitable range from that star is a flat planet.
This is an opinion?
This is my, I mean, yeah, you can call it an opinion. This is my take on, based on what I can tell from the evidence that is presented in that article given to us by Yahoo News, that TOI 700D is a flat planet. And I will begin presenting my evidence to you now, before you leap to conclusions.
I mean, I'm just curious. I've never seen a flat. I mean, my opinion, all planets are circle.
Yeah.
And that's
Sears?
That was my understanding up until very recently. And I believe that NASA is beating around the bush because admitting that this planet is flat would offer a huge amount of validation to flat earthers who foolishly believe that Earth is flat. And then NASA, that's currently probably their biggest political fight right now.
So they're trying to hide the fact that it's flat?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So never in the article, first of all, in reading, from top to bottom, which I found out, I think that I did read it from top to bottom, combing through it, and there was never any mention of it being round, of it being spherical, of it having a radius, a diameter, or of its shape at all. And so they only refer to it in size.
That is suspect.
Right, and so which in saying that they say it's roughly roughly the same size as Earth, roughly. And so then but that doesn't lead into saying anything about its shape or its actual constitution. So, but that's by speculation. We're saying that we therefore we don't know what shape it is. Moving from that, then is you can argue that this, based on their tone, that this is preemptive damage control. That a quote from the article from someone named Gabrielle Engelman Sousa, I want to get that right, who's a research assistant.
Of course.
They say, it's exciting because no matter what we find about the planet, it's going to look completely different from what we have here on Earth.
I think she's talking about what life would look like on the surface of the planet, not the actual shape of the planet.
I mean, she did say completely different from what we have here on Earth.
I mean, the thing is, I think those are both big leaps. For one, when you someone's saying, "Hey, that hamburger I had yesterday was really good."
Mm-hmm.
It was something. It was just better than other hamburgers. You're not expecting, oh, it's different because he left out, oh, there was a bun, there was cheese, there was ketchup, there was medium rare, all that's
you're right. What if someone came out and said, I had a hamburger that's completely different from any other hamburger?
I would not assume that the hamburger
completely
was
different
spherical
from a standard hamburger. You would not. I mean, maybe not. But then my evidence is, what would they have to hide? And that would be their biggest thing to hide. So maybe not. It could be a cubic planet. I don't know.
Completely different than any planet we've ever known, or Earth?
Well, I don't know of any other flat planets, John.
No, know? But what did she say? What was the quote?
The quote. All right, reading it again. It's exciting because no matter what we find out about the planet, it's going to look completely different from what we have here on Earth.
I mean, other planets look pretty different than Earth. Saturn has that thing around it.
I mean, it looks different than Earth. I wouldn't say completely different.
Other planets are mostly gas too, right?
I mean, some planets. Not all of them, but
that's pretty different.
Sure, but it's pretty different. You're right. The quote doesn't say pretty different, Liam. It says completely different, which you would then, by definition, means that every facet of it is different, including having facets because it's flat.
Well, how are you sure it's flat? What if it's an X?
And that's actually a fair point. I actually don't know it's flat. I am leading to that they had a lot of opportunities to say that it's round, and they didn't.
So you're just saying it's not a spherical shape?
I suppose so. But then if I had to guess one, I would say flat because that's what they have the most to lose from it being.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They don't want to fuel the fire of those crazies.
Exactly, and because they're entirely unfounded in their science there. But if this was flat, which it's sounding more and more like it is, then all of a sudden there's fuel for the fire, and that's just exactly what they don't want.
Yeah, but NASA can literally fly into outer space and take pictures of Earth to prove that Earth isn't flat.
That hasn't been enough for flat earthers so far.
But then wouldn't they not care about flat earthers if that's not enough evidence?
I think we should just not care about flat earthers. Just as a society.
I'm in agreement with you guys here. My opinion is not that this was a good idea from NASA to angle their pitch this way. I'm just pointing out the holes in their process here. But I do have more here. So they pitched their public statement off to a research assistant. First of all, the fact that this person who was giving a potentially huge statement wasn't from the head of NASA, wasn't from the head of the project. It was a research assistant on loan from another project who's the one who gave this public statement on it. They were trying to bury this in a news cycle. This also came out on Tuesday, January 7th, when tensions between Iran and the United States were just starting to dominate the entire news cycle.
We did find this story on Yahoo News.
And I'm saying they were really hoping, NASA, that it would just get lost and get buried. And but then Yahoo News comes in, picks it up, and all of a sudden now it's being talked about on the biggest podcast of the nation.
Are you implying that everything with Iran was maybe a distraction?
No, how dare you? God, Liam, what a fucking reach.
I think we should pivot from this area.
Okay.
of
I'm just
discussion.
pointing out one further lesion. My final nail in the coffin is this entire observation and revelation came from a team noticing an error in Tess's indexing and documenting. And on that team was included a high school student named Alton Spencer. And what do we know about high school students if they're anything if not memers?
Memers and named Alton.
Oh.
Yes, I do know. But their lives are memes. Imagine how like important and like how relevant like meme culture is for people of our age. How much it dominates our lives, whether we want it to or not. And now think about if you were a high school student now, when your brain and your culture is still being formed, how dominant and relevant it would be in your life. Why would a high schooler be involved with NASA if not for the potential of memes of the flat Earth and being involved? And why would they be involved in this project if there wasn't that draw of the whole flat planet methodology?
This is the most interesting thing you've said by far, because I am genuinely intrigued as to why a high schooler is involved with this.
Why is it? Yeah, it is crazy that a high school's involved, and I was just thinking that the research assistant was the one to give the press, the press.
a couple of
Yeah.
little red flags
Wait.
coming up.
You should have led with this though, because this is
I
What if
didn't
this-
want to lead with my strongest point. I wanted to close with my
What if
strongest
this is
point here.
just not even a real story, and they just wanted to be relevant? This just seems like let's throw something in a wall and see if people notice.
yeah. I couldn't
so-
find this
You
story.
throw something at a
anywhere.
wall. What shape does it take on?
An amoeba shape.
It goes splat and it goes flat.
Oh,
Oh,
that was a
That was
strong
good.
closing.
that was a really good closing.
I don't know if you guys can tell, but I backed away from the mic to prove my point that it was over.
Then he did these weird movements with his hand.
Yeah.
That also helped.
Alrighty, thank you very much, Bennett McKay. As someone who spent the last year of his life teaching Earth and life science to high schoolers, I can attest that they do love flat Earth, and I just love Bennett's validation of their thoughts there. So
there was not validation of them. It was I'm pointing out that they have evidence, but we should hide it from them to
All right.
the truth.
So I
Bennett,
think
just come back to the table, dude.
no, it's. I think my takeaway is Bennett is a flat earther.
It kind of sounds like we were heading in that direction.
at the very least, he is throwing fuel on their fire. So thank you, Bennett McKay. I look forward to working with more American youths in the future because of you. Alrighty, so up next is a little palate cleanser before we get into our next segment. We have 5 fun facts. So I'm going to read out 5 fun facts related to the subject that we were looking at, and just something to take with you on the road. A little bit of a mind maraschino cherry, so to speak, the little cherry on top of everything else that you're getting today.
Nick, you're a cherry on top on itself.
Hey, you can't butter up the judge this early, all right, man? Let him come to his conclusions naturally.
He absolutely can, Bennett. He absolutely can. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Cherry is one of my favorite fruits and treats, so thank you. Alrighty, so our 5 fun facts of the day. First off, fact number 1: a full NASA spacesuit. Fact number 1:
You're doing great.
a full NASA spacesuit costs $12 million.
Oh no, that's a lot of money. Wait, were you supposed to? What is it?
React as you will. I'm just sharing some. Fun
These are all
facts.
just facts, right?
That makes a ton of sense to me. That life is expensive, and to more or less build a little spacesuit for a person to wear.
And yes, life is expensive.
That's just yeah.
I mean, just think how much like a full set of snow gear costs you to like go skiing or something like that, and then just turn snow to space.
Right.
Like that makes sense.
And add like
if I'm spending like
$12 million.
to that, yeah. I suppose I could round my snow attire to 0 compared to 12 million, but
If I was rounding up my snow attire to the nearest $12 million, my snow attire would also cost $12 million.
all right, thank you. That was a poor argument on my part. Fun fact number 2: scientists believe there are planets in the universe made entirely out of diamonds. That seems right to me. Diamonds are valueless.
I love that idea.
I mean, they're just highly organized carbon, man.
Wait, is there a lot of wouldn't I don't know how science works, but wouldn't there have to be like how is pressure? What is pressure?
Force over area.
Is there a lot of pressure in space?
Kind of the opposite, but in some places,
that's
yeah.
why there'd be less pressure, right?
Well, I mean, pressure comes. No, wait. Nick, you're organized carbon.
Are you calling me a diamond, Bennett?
No, because diamonds are worthless.
Good answer. All right, buttered up by 2. Hey, Liam, are you going to put the margarine on top, buddy? Because they're laying it on thick right now. You better catch up. All right, our fun fact number 3. 1 day on Venus is longer than 1 year on Earth. That doesn't seem true to me.
Wasn't that like a plot point in Interstellar?
Oh,
It's also well, to be fair, it's actually that's if for those who read the article on Yahoo News, in this new galaxy, the 3 planets, all of them, based on what we can tell, they orbit and with the same as the rotation, so they like have 1 year is 1 day for all 3 of those planets.
I'm pretty
in that
sure whoever
solar
put
system.
this like little segment together did some pretty good research and found that that was true.
All right, well, it's interestingly enough that you should bring up Interstellar, John, because our fun fact number 4 is Interstellar is 100% factually accurate.
What the fuck? I believe it.
I just want everyone to know I was given this list just right beforehand, so I'm just the messenger.
Interstellar. I think there's like a video on YouTube with Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about
How 100% factually accurate it is.
how high I'll give it a high percentage factual accuracy, but I'm not gonna give it a not 100%.
If you had to round up to your closest 100%,
Son of a bitch, it's 100%. He's got me.
What was the name of Matthew McConaughey's daughter?
Marv!
Marv. That's it. Okay.
How could you ever forget that, John? That name's burned into my head.
I'm gonna say that.
Dude, wait, wasn't she named after Murphy's Law?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Which is like such a
Yeah.
shitty thing to name your daughter.
Your daughter is the thing that can go wrong.
Like, I mean, fuck. Like, you name your daughter, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Let's name my daughter after that.
was that the character's intention or like part of the storytelling though?
Honestly, it's been a long time since I can't remember. And last time I watched it, I was making out with someone in a theater. So, like,
They were probably just
I
so
wasn't paying
focused on
attention.
getting the science right.
Liam, that was a great opportunity for you to butter up Nick, but you just drove right past it.
Oh, he just winked at me. Okay, that's worth a wink's worth 1,000 words. Who said that? FDR, I think.
Just Interstellar is the perfect example of that parents do have favorites. Like I just want to point out that he liked his daughter way more than he liked Casey Affleck. We can move on.
Wait, he
Yeah.
had another child?
That's true.
Yeah, you did.
Really? I don't even remember
Yeah.
that.
He had a son.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Bad.
was all pissed off. He wanted to be the farmer, remember? Okay, so for my segment, I'm going to put both John and Bennett in a little scenario, and then I'm going to have them make a list. Sorry, you're just always on my mind.
This guy.
Uh,
Come on.
I'm going to put you guys in a scenario, and then I'm going to have you make a list, and then we're going to discuss this list, okay? So let's say you alone by yourself are put on a planet that is full of clean drinking water and plants that you can eat, and that's it, and you're there alone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set a timer for 45 seconds, and you're going to prioritize a list from 10 to 1 of things that you would bring for both quality of life and survival.
Can you recap what we have? Recap
You
what
have
we have.
clean drinking water, and you have plants on which you can eat the plants. And you have 45 seconds, starting right now.
Wait, what kind of plants?
Any plants you can eat. 45 seconds.
Okay.
Write down your list.
Plants, water. Shit. Okay.
You have 35 seconds. 25 seconds.
No. Okay. Oh my god.
You have 15 seconds. I'm going to give you guys 10 extra seconds because John got a late start.
I really appreciate that too.
All right, so you have 20 seconds now with the little bump. All right, 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Done?
Yeah.
All right, give me back your list.
Wow, these are not in order, but boy,
All right.
are they
Wait,
something.
are they supposed to be in order of importance?
Yes.
They're not.
Oh no.
Okay. So, all right. So we're gonna go through these lists one by one,
Oh my god, I'm
So-
gonna die.
starting with both your guys' number 10s. Bennett, you said TV,
Yeah,
a reasonable number 10.
I think that. I mean, so I started overthinking things. And I'm sure you're reading ahead. So I started overthinking things. I would ask for something a couple steps below, and then think of what I needed to make that work,
Okay.
and I'd kind of just work my way that way.
Okay. John, you said for number 10, person.
Yeah, I don't think I could survive by myself. I mean, like I think I'm a talker. I like
Right.
to talk, and I just think if I'm there alone,
So just one person or people or
just another person. Honestly,
I
Like-
I really get it actually. Like
it could
thinking
be
back,
anyone really. I mean, but like even if it's someone that I wouldn't get along with, I think by the end of it,
yeah.
one of us, we're either gonna die or get along.
Okay. John, your number 9 was hut.
Yeah, I mean, like
so like shelter.
shelter. Well, first my brain was breaking when we were making this
Oh,
because
45 seconds is not a long time.
you said 45. I thought we were gonna have like a couple more seconds. Anyways, I originally
Wait,
was
you thought you were gonna have more seconds than 45 when he told us 45 seconds?
Okay, I just wasn't listening. Okay, I was just trying to process this whole environment. I was originally writing house, but I feel like that was cheating, so I put hut. I don't know.
Interesting.
Just
Bennett,
somewhere to lay your head.
What's
down.
that?
for number 9, you put power. Again, pretty reasonable choice.
So I meant like electricity. It's
Right.
kind of like my like
How do you
zoom out
bring
from that.
electricity?
I figure. I mean, like literally, I would need like enough things that I could like burn and make like a wheel, and like then I could use that to
maybe
make
like a
power.
generator full of
Sure,
gas or
something.
Okay.
I mean, if I'm the way based on what we can tell, all I have is plants and water on this. I think that my individual contributions to the environment would be outweighed by the plant by the time I died.
Okay, Bennett, for number 8, you put move?
Oh, so I tried to write movies.
Oh, movies.
But
okay.
but in the middle of writing movies, I alluded to this earlier that I started panicking, thinking, well, if I just have movies, I imagined like John's closet full of DVDs, and I thought, well, I need something to watch this on, so that got me then TV. But before I could even write TV, I thought I would need power to run the TV.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of looked ahead at some of these lists. What I'm gonna do is go through the rest of your list because yours is like not totally unreasonable things, and then we can go through John's list, okay?
Okay, that
okay,
sounds good.
It seems like
Okay, so number 7, books.
Yeah, I thought about trying to like come up with a certain book or a certain series of books, but you know how 45 seconds goes.
Yeah.
And so I panicked. I wrote books, and I figured that me and the genie who's having a conversation with me, giving me my 10 things,
Yeah.
we could work something out. We could.
So I just want to point out when you said an item, I was like, oh, you can bring one thing. Like, is it he's allowed to bring all these books or a book?
Books is fine. I would say maybe 30 to 40 books.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
I kind of I figured it would be like
It's a
if
lot
I could
cheaper.
describe it in one quick sort of thing. If I could say like one book series, maybe I could get away with. But I don't. But you also have your game, your rules.
Okay, number 6, steel tools, in parentheses, saw/knife.
Yeah, it's something to
Totally reasonable.
something to cut some of the plants so I can make shelter and those sorts of things.
Number 5, fire starter. Again, great pick.
It's cold. I'm assuming. I don't know what the environment on this planet's like. So I said, it leads me to my next thing.
Toothbrush.
Oh, no, not the next thing. The thing after that. But toothbrush, yeah, I just realized it's like, I don't know. I thought about the things I needed. I didn't think about any of the other cleaning of myself things, but something about having, being able to clean your teeth feels pretty good.
Number 3, warm clothes.
Yeah, I thought that would kind of got there, and then fire. If I could reanalyze this list, I'd probably make changes, but that's all right.
Number 2, canvas.
Yeah, part of that shelter thing. It's I went back to like survival and like watching Survivor Man, and that was what Bear Grylls always did was use like a parachute like that he used to get into some bullshit location to provide shelter. So in my head, I was like, canvas is a versatile thing that you
Yeah.
can use.
And number 1, tape.
Yeah, I just thought then I'm like I had to build something at work the other day, and I realized like how much of a pain in the ass it was to like use like screws and all this shit, and I'm just like, God, if I could just tape it, sure it wouldn't work forever, but it would just solve my problem.
So
right
like
now.
20 big rolls of duct tape.
Yeah, and that would be for my first year of trying not to die.
Okay.
It would be just giving me my quick. I need to have something tonight, or I'm gonna not survive the night, sort of thing.
Okay. Now we're gonna go through John's list. I think what I'm gonna do here is just read them all off, and then we can go back through them. Wait, really quick. What's number 8?
Number 8's book,
Okay.
but just a single book.
Okay. So just to recap, so here's John's top 10. Number 10, person. Number 9, hut. Number 8, book. Number 7, knife. Number 6, fertilizer. Number 5, watering can. Number 4, pen. Number 3, boards. Is it?
Wait, let me see.
You have boards?
Oh, cards.
Oh,
Cards.
cards.
I originally
For you
wrote-
in person
I was
to
originally
play.
gonna write board game, but then I was like, if this person doesn't get to come, there's no. I mean, also cards is you can play anything.
Yeah, so it's for you in person to play.
Yeah, I mean in person.
Number 2, bicycle. And number 1, I believe this word is ham, like a ham.
Okay, so, well, did you write the list one up? Did you start
Yeah,
at
I
one?
did. I started
So
at
I
1.
started at 10.
So person is the most important to you by your
Yeah.
And ham is number 10.
Well, I don't even like ham. I don't know. It's like
don't
one of my least-
even like
it's like one of my least
ham.
favorite foods. I just couldn't like you. I had 1 second left, and that was. I mean, if I'm gonna bring 10 things, I'm gonna bring 10 things.
Right. So okay, couple questions. Book makes sense. Hut, fine. Knife, great. Fertilizer.
Like to, like make sure my crops yield.
Okay.
So
I
I
can
mean,
see that being useful.
I can too, but from what I could tell about this planet, there's plants and there's water, and like he did say, the plants you can eat, which do sound like crops.
No, literally, I'm bringing shit to this.
Okay, so you're
I
just
could
bringing
just use my own.
piles of shit.
Yeah, this 45-second thing really fucked up my life.
What does a watering can look like?
Just like a
You know, like when you have for your garden.
yeah. I mean, I feel like I could have picked a bucket, something. You probably didn't even need that.
Pen. What are you writing on?
The books? The
I
book?
just was looking at what's around me, and the pen was in my hand.
Oh, so that was a pure instinct, what you had on you kind of thing.
Yeah.
Cards. We already talked about. Bicycle.
I just
Wait, you
picked-
put down bicycle?
Yeah, I pictured myself riding around this planet. And
There's like no roads on this planet. You're just like
you
roughing
can
it
mountain
through.
bike. You gotta make your
Something
own
to get
roads,
around,
baby.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just a little basket, picking up my crops.
And then number 1, ham.
I don't have an explanation for it. I wouldn't even eat it, to be honest. I just that was a huge pan.
Ham. I know more about how John reacts in a situation now, though. Is how he, what he does when you go back into a corner, pick 10 things. Ham ends up on that list.
I end up picking something I don't like at all.
Well, all right. That sums up my segment. Now we got a little insight into what you guys find important in life.
I think that was a really great segment, Liam. Very well done.
Thank you.
you, Liam. That hurt me.
Alrighty, thank you very much for that, Liam. I feel like I know John so much better, and I feel like I know Bennett about the same way I did before. So before we move on to our last contestant, we're going to play a quick game of Is This Real? In this game, I will read 5 statements relevant to today's show. On each one, contestants will say whether or not they believe the statement to be fake or real. This game is simply for fun unless there's a tie, in which case the points awarded in this game will be used as a tiebreaker. Contestants, are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Alrighty. True or false? In 1969, American astronauts actually walked on the moon.
False.
Wow. I'll say false.
I feel like they're doing this just to get a rise out of me, but yeah, true.
Okay,
I'm gonna say
flat
hard
earther.
true. Jesus Christ.
All right, it is actually false. In the year 1969, they worked on getting towards the moon, but the majority of the country's resources actually went to Woodstock. A lot of people were distracted by that big music event in U.S. history.
I hate this fucking podcast.
I knew what I was.
Alrighty,
saying.
true or false? Just yesterday, Elon Musk and Canadian musician Grimes announced they would be having a child together.
True.
I think it's false.
I don't know. Anything could happen now. I'm gonna say 4. Yeah, 4. Final answer.
All right, well, smartass Bennett is definitely wrong. The answer is false. Come on, y'all. Use basic logic here. Alrighty. Question number 3. True or false? Neil Armstrong was born in Buffalo, New York.
Wait, I'm winning. I just realized. That's a false.
I don't know where Neil Armstrong was born, but I would assume it wasn't Buffalo. So false.
True. I say true.
All right, the answer is false. He was born in Wapakoneta, Ohio, you fucking idiots.
I got it right.
All right, yes,
Could've
John,
done
technically, yes, you are correct. You got a 50-50 chance and you are correct, yes. Alrighty, true or false? Question number 4. The famous Houston, we have a problem wasn't actually said during the infamous Apollo 13 mission. In real life, astronaut Jack Siegert said, "Holy fuck, we are so fucked, Houston. We are fucking fucked. Fuck, fuck, fuck."
I'm gonna go true on that one.
I'm gonna go false.
I'm gonna say true. I mean, I'm guessing he also said Houston, we have a problem, but I'm guessing that fuck, we're so fucking fucked came out first.
False. He did not say that.
Yes.
That was not said.
John, you're killing
Good
it right
deduction, though.
Thank you,
Yeah,
thank
John,
you.
you are on fire right now.
I know.
And I am keeping track of this, so in the case of a tiebreaker, you have a little backup, John.
Oh, thank you.
All right. And our final true and false question. There are 16,000 military members in the newly formed United States Space Force.
False, because it's about to be 16,001, baby.
True.
I'm gonna say false.
All right. It is true.
What?
Are you,
Hell yeah!
Were you 5 for 5, Johnny?
Yeah, I was guessing the whole time.
All righty. Well, hey, let's just say this list of questions John had much better answers to than his previous one. And actually, on that note, John, my ham hock Holden friend, that takes us to your segment. Take it away, Johnny.
Thank you. All right, boys, are you guys ready for a little segment?
Hell yeah.
Always.
Well, I want to start this off by just asking each of you a question. There'll be separate questions, but answer to your heart. Bennett.
Yeah.
Bennett, I'm going to ask you a question first.
Okay.
Matt Damon or former press secretary Sean Spicer?
Matt Damon.
That's good. And Liam, I have a question for you. The guy who made guns or Matt Damon?
Matt Damon.
Racist.
All right, so based on my findings, you are both fans of Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
would
it.
say that.
That's
And that brings me to what I want to talk about today. The Martian, one of the best modern space. That was a terrible way to get there, but The Martian is one
You
of the
made your
best
point.
modern space movies starring Matt Damon.
I love that movie. Also read the book. Very, very big fan.
So it was directed by Ridley Scott, and in this movie, Matt Damon's character, botanist Mark Watney, is stranded on the planet Mars, and he must use his wit and intellect to survive. So we're going to play a little game called Who is the Best Matt Damon? In this game, by the end of it, we will decide which one of you is more like Matt Damon.
Oh,
I will give
wow.
you survival scenarios that Matt Damon had to deal with on Mars, and I'll ask both of you how you would handle that survival situation. The person with the best answer will be awarded 1 point per scenario. The individual with the most points will be crowned Matt Damon and be awarded this official certificate I made. Let's pull it out real quick.
Oh, wow.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
You spent a lot of time on that, didn't you?
I spent a lot of time on it, and I hope that you are proud when you win it.
It's
Is that the backside of your birth certificate?
Maybe. All right. Let's start the mood. Let's set up the mood.
Okay.
It's the year 2035, and talking to you, you're botanist Mark Watney, aka Matt Damon. You're part of the Ares 3 crew, and you're exploring the vast planet of Mars. Much to your chagrin, a strong dust storm hits the planet, and your crew is forced to evacuate. You get left behind to fend for yourself. Welcome to Mars, bitch. All right, so how this is going to work is I'm going to give you the scenario, and first person to answer is the first person to answer.
Okay.
And if you have the same answer, whoever answered first wins the point.
Is it multiple choice or is it free response?
It's free response.
Okay.
You awake from that dust storm. Everyone is gone. Your biometer is destroyed. There is debris sticking out of your abdomen. You're bleeding profusely. What is your next move?
Hobble towards the have.
I go back to headquarters.
What'd you say, Bennett?
Hobble towards the have.
What's the have?
It's from reading the book, I remember it's what they called their pop-up tent on Mars.
It's like, it's the HQ. It's the thing that stays there when they leave. It's home base for Mars.
He's right. That's what it is.
So you guys answered the same thing.
I guess.
Yes, we did.
It's pretty, yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's go further. What would you do once you're inside the have or the HQ?
I'd ration out my food.
Take off my suit and remove the shrapnel.
Bennett wins. You have shrapnel sticking out of your stomach. You're bleeding profusely.
You gotta remember the details like that.
All right.
Bennett acted like Matt Damon, and Bennett gets a point.
Matt Damon point, baby.
All right.
Call me Will. Hunting your ass.
Oh.
So you're sitting in HQ. You're sitting in your have. Have?
I actually don't quite remember, if I'm being perfectly honest.
All right, we're going to call it a have. You're sitting in your have, and you realize that the only way you're going to get off...
There's no way that's right.
Minus point to Liam.
Oh.
Wow. Yeah.
Just
All
because I'm acting... I'm trying to be realistic here. But.
Okay, well, you weren't realistic before. You said you were going to ration food instead of taking out the shrapnel in your stomach. That's not a Matt Damon move. That's not a money move. Anyways, we're going to move on. You're sitting in your have. You realize that the only way to get off this planet and return to Earth is by waiting for the next Mars landing, which is as long as 4 years away from now. Food is your main concern. How do you make potatoes?
Use your own shit.
Use fertilizer from your own shit, and then you grow it inside.
But first you have to blow your ass up. What do you mean by blow your ass up?
Turn hydrazine into water by burning it.
How is that at all blow your ass up?
Because you fuck it up first time, because you forget that you're breathing in oxygen, so it messes up the ratio, and then you blow up some of the hydrazine, and you throw yourself backwards, but you survive because you're Matt Damon.
In your response, Liam?
I wouldn't like to assume that I would blow myself up. I think real Matt Damon is on Mars. He's not blowing himself up.
You think that was a fictionalization?
Yes.
All right, it's a fair argument.
All right, then, okay, but how would you make the, what is the process of cultivating these potatoes, and how would you prepare them?
First, you have to come up with a misting system. So you take the ice from the outside of the hob and you melt it.
Ice on Mars?
Yes, it freezes at night. And there's ice on the hob, and then you take it and you melt it, and then you mist it inside the hob onto the shit where the potatoes are growing.
Cut the potatoes into little pieces, 1 eye per piece, because that's what it can sprout from that pieces. You have potatoes because you were going to celebrate Thanksgiving as a crew. Then you, I know The Martian really well, John. I'm sorry, this doesn't help your game.
I just watched this movie.
And then, and then you go out to your lander that has been making hydrazine, which is rocket fuel, and it's made out of hydrogen, and then you can use that combined with the oxygen that you have, and then the water reclaimer, which is built into your system, to then create an environment that it's really uncomfortable to live in, but it creates water and makes it ideal for a potato to grow in.
All right, I think you both answered similar things with more detail to Bennett and a little bit more heart from Liam. So I'm going to give a point to both of you. That leaves Bennett with 2 points and Liam with 0.
I accept that.
Okay. You know what? Liam, you have 1 point.
Thank you.
That wasn't fair to take away that point. Let's make this a game.
All right.
You ready for a couple more scenarios? This will be quicker. I want quicker answers.
Yeah.
And honestly, we're going to just do, for this one, Liam answers first, then Bennett answers first, so that way we don't have to rush it.
Okay.
Okay. It's just another day working for the Boston PD. You get instructed that a mole is in your department. Your job is to find the mole. But unbeknownst to the others, you are the mole that everyone is looking for you. How does your sleazy ass get out of this?
I start pointing out when other members of the crew are on their phones at weird times. Like if we're in the middle of a sting operation, I'll be like, "Hey, Chief, look who's on their phone over there." And so I'll make him suspicious of other people, and I'll really like attach myself to this project of finding the mole so no one would ever suspect me.
Bennett?
I'd get a partner and have them do an action that is very mole-like when you're there, so you have a concrete alibi, and so that therefore no one can possibly suspect you're the mole because they think that they think that this other guy is the mole.
So you're going to develop a relationship and then stab him in the back.
No, it would just be like I would be bringing in a partner as like the mole. I mean, I've found that, or my counter option is shoot the hostage because I also know some other cop movies.
Shoot the hostage. Okay, I'm going to give the point to Liam. That was pretty good.
That's fair.
That's like more working the room. Okay. You are working as a janitor. How do you solve this equation?
Oh fuck. You wait. Oh, fuck.
All right, Liam.
Draw a line.
So you go up to the triangle and you do like a dot, and a dot, and then you close your marker and then you put it down and you sit down and the professor gives you a pat on the back.
It's a piece of
that's
chalk.
it.
It's a piece
That's
of chalk.
it.
What the?
No, Liam got a point. It's 3-2. Okay. Next scenario. You're Carroll Shelby, and you have to design a car that is faster than old man Ferraris.
Is anyone going first on this one?
You go.
You cut the weight from the car, add power to the engine.
Liam?
You bang out the inside of the trunk so it fits regulation size.
That's correct. All right, next question. You're defending the Great Wall of China. Do you sign up to be the lead of this movie?
Oh man. Oh,
What year is it?
It's a 2018.
Oh man. I'm gonna say yeah, but only because there's one pretty sweet shot of you catching a bowl on the wall with bow and arrows.
I guess I'm gonna say yes because of the ponytail.
You both are wrong, and you don't get any point. I mean, no, actually, you're right. Matt Damon would do both these things, and I'm going to give both of you points, but that ultimately leaves. Let's do a little drum roll, please.
Oh,
And the winner of Who is Most Like Matt Damon is Liam Sorahan. So congratulations, dude.
Thank you.
I felt like I really had him in the first half, but then I kind of let it get away with me when we stopped doing The Martian.
Hey, dude, I'm gonna give you this certificate, and I hope that you frame it and keep it forever. And
Is that really your birth certificate on the backside of it?
It is, yeah. It really is.
And you're cool with that?
I mean, I didn't have, to be honest, I didn't have much paper.
Fair enough.
All right, let's give it back to Nick.
Alrighty. Thank you so much, John, and congratulations to Liam for being our honorary Matt Damon. And once again, thank you all for your segments. They were all very hot, but one has to be the hottest. My criteria for judging today is going to be the NICK or NIC 4-part evaluation metric, where N stands for nostalgia, it's a 5-point scale. I stands for ingenuity, it's a 5-point scale. Charisma stands for, C stands for charisma. I spoiled it.
But you have a lot of.
Which is a 5-point scale. And K, surprisingly, stands for Kraft mac and cheese. That is a binary scale where 0 stands for not Kraft mac and cheese and 1 stands for Kraft mac and cheese. And it remains to be seen whether or not that is a good thing. Alrighty. So, based off of that, with Nick's scores down the line of 4, 4, 5, and 0 respectively, our winner of this week's Trial by Fire is Liam Sorahan.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Dude.
You earned it this
really-
week.
yeah.
You did. That was a really strong one.
And
But
you are also the winner. You're the best Matt Damon.
I appreciate that. I want to give a shout out to both John and Bennett who really made that segment come to life.
yeah, that was really good. You turned us against ourselves. I didn't see that coming. That's really, you were the mastermind of it. You spun what me and John being very funny and clever, and you turned that right against us. So.
That's right. That's what it takes.
And an honorable mention to John. You're actually the only person who got a 5 out of 5 on the nostalgia scale, because everybody loves a strong appeal to Matt Damon.
Oh, absolutely. I think he's a really, saying he's underrated sounds a little cheap, but he is an underrated act. You don't think of him as one of the great. He's one of the greatest actors.
He really is.
Can I actually ask, just around the block, what all of our Kraft mac and cheese scores were?
Yeah. Sure thing, Bennett. Alrighty. So with the Kraft Mac and Cheese score of 1, we have Bennett McKay, and then we have a score of 0 and a score of 0 for John and Liam. Commiserates to you, Bennett.
And what is the criteria for that?
Kraft Mac and Cheese?
Yeah.
It's whether or not your segment was equivalent to Kraft Mac and Cheese.
Got it.
Simple binary, yes or no.
I'm going to take that as a win. I don't know if that actually helped me in the long run, but I'm going to take it as a win.
You're right.
Okay, Bennett.
I'm glad I won the nostalgia thing.
I will say, John, that single-handedly, Bennett did tank your ingenuity score. You should
By
have
knowing
known
the answers, yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know.
You have to appeal to your audience a little better. Bennett is an aerospace engineer, and it goes to show.
It
that
kind of
he
threw
loves
me
emotion.
off my guard, but he did a really good job, and like that's how you play the game.
Thank you. I felt bad. You know, I mean, I try to follow the principle. You know, playing to the top of my intelligence. You know, playing my best game. So when there were questions I felt like I knew the answer to, I had to try to just. It was competitive, and I'm sorry, John. I didn't mean to take.
No,
a
you
segment
didn't
like
take. You did a really good job.
You did a
good job.
astonishing well.
Hey, not good enough.
Astonishingly
I mean,
well.
Okay, you, Matt Damon.
And I will say, Bennett, as the only person who got a 1 instead of a 0 for the Kraft Mac and Cheese score, I really liked your segment. It was strong. It was amusing. It felt good going down, but it just didn't sit well afterwards.
That's what that means. To be fair, actually, I have a lot of agreement with that in my segment. I like where I was coming from it, but then at the end of the day, I felt like a flat earther, which I didn't really appreciate. I didn't like that so much. So I'm glad I'll take that Kraft Mac and Cheese score of 1 and wear it like a badge.
Old
All right,
man
well-
Ferrari. Sorry.
Wear it with honor, Bennett. Wear it with honor, and very good, John. Very good. You should have auditioned for that movie. I think you would have had a significant role.
Thank you.
So I believe the last thing we have to do for today's episode would be to dish out our task, our trial, our consequence, whatever word you want to use to describe it. And I believe Liam should get the benefit of announcing this.
All right. Okay. It looks like this week for your punishment. Wait, hold on.
I'll be here for reaction.
Where? Oh, okay. So I'm looking at this chart, and then I'm picking number 14. Gotcha. Okay. All right,
Oh, God.
John and Bennett.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, this is a really good punishment. Bennett, you're gonna fucking hate this, and John, you're gonna like it, I think. Your punishment for this week is to watch Climax twice.
No!
Yes.
God, please no!
Bennett, do you want to just describe what Climax is really quick?
Yeah, Climax is about an hour and 50-minute movie. The first half of which is some really excellent dancing and interviews from these French dancers, and it's really excellent. It's so beautiful. It's like we really get to watch some excellent camera angles, some really talented dancers. And the second half of the movie, they are all tripping on LSD and like more or less dying in a one-shot take of following the camera around the house as their party falls apart. And now we get to watch it twice.
Really like the movie. It was like a casual evening, and I made Liam and Bennett. I was like, guys, we have to whatever we're doing this. You have to watch this movie, and we were gonna go out to see like a UCB comedy show, and then it was just put them in such a bad mood, and I've never like felt so bad because I felt like I truly like ruined Ben's weekend.
Yeah, it did, and now it's gonna have to happen at some point this week.
It's gonna
So
happen
I'm really
twice in a
excited about it.
We're watching it twice in a row.
I actually haven't seen the movie yet, so I'm very excited to join you all for one of the 2 viewings.
I think you should come
The
for number
second
2.
one.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
definitely.
come for the second one.
I don't think we're allowed to have our phones on us.
No, it's
No.
got to be a. Oh my god.
If you want to come over and watch Climax with us, just hit us up.
All right, everyone. Commiserations to John and Bennett, and congratulations to Liam. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. I've been your host, Nick Carrell, and this has been Trial by Fire. Keep it burning out there, folks.